This is the PH 1502L, so that is your laboratory paper, and this presentation is made for you guys for a laboratory orientation by Dr. M.R. Gadhvi, Physics Department. The team of your laboratory experts is one of the best team, I should say. Majority of 99% all faculties of your departments are doctorate. Dr. M.R. Gadhvi as a laboratory in charge, Professor M.C. Patel, one of the senior faculty, Dr. Nandita Ganguly, Dr. Jaisal Joshi, Dr. Clement Chumma Sheril, Dr. Shailesh Patel, Dr. Sanjeev Gupta. In general, we do have a tendency to different groups are going to be formed. I mean, the overall students, when they come to the laboratory, they are divided into a group of some around 25 students to 30 students, and each group will be led by one of the experts who will always explain you the theory and procedure part, and then you have to perform it. And before leave the laboratory, you have to get it signed your lab manual, and then you can mark your attendance with our lab technician. Lastly, it is written his name, Maipal Singh Chawda. So that is how the laboratory will execute. This is a list of an experiment. Definitely you will find it out on a website, but there is a cosmetic change have been taken care because of limitation of your virtual laboratory or the online laboratory sessions. Few experiments which cannot be explained online, so we have changes few of them. I think 2 experiment has been replaced, which is not able to teach online. So there are 14 experiments. Out of that, the experiment number 1 and the experiment number 6, this both are the theoretical experiments. Experiment number 6, experiment number 1, analysis of error and methods of least square fitting. So these 2 are the experiments, which is kind of an paperwork with concern to the data. So by chance, when you are taking data on your experiment, what is the possibility of errors are there, and how you can analyze your errors, and a method of least square fitting will give you the guidance about how exactly you can minimize your error and so on. So that is how each faculty will explain you the experiment. In general, the experiments are going to be start with the aim. They will explain you the apparatus. Later on, they will discuss a theory in brief. I suggest that you should have a tendency to read the manual completely, which is already uploaded on the website on this particular paper. And secondly, you have to read that entire manual, and what are the set of equations are to be used, and how exactly calculation to be carried out, that you should actually understand before visit this particular laboratory or virtual laboratory sessions. Then it would be a little bit easier for you guys. Okay, so how to write a good journals? I always observed since last many years, as in 11th and 12th standard, you more or less focused on either physics, chemistry, maths, or a physics, chemistry, biology subjects, and therefore the laboratory sessions of your 11th and 12th standards are always lightly taken, even by the teachers. They are giving you a little bit liberty in the laboratory sessions and so on. But now it is a compulsory a paper over in your higher educations, and therefore it is to be taken a little bit seriously. So being a Xavierites, how one should write a very good journals. So I just make a few lists that you should remember. Once you remember, then it would be habit for you guys and your journals will be fantastic. So when you start with the writing of journals, first of all, we will be in our department, we are provide you the blank and line pages, and that is you need to leave the very first page. So when you open a page, it would be something like on your left hand side there will be a blank page, and on your RHS you will finding a line page. So that is way you have to visualize your journal. And thereafter you always start, there is a one more tip, there is always you should start a new experiment with the new pages. And in general our department insists that you should write the experiments in the pages and later you file them. Because we are doing such activity, because to save the nature, to save the paper, and because in bounded journals you have observed in your 11th and 12th standard almost 25% of paper of your bounded journals are wastage. To stop that particular issue, we have motivating the supportive or nature supportive steps, and that is writing a experiments in paper, and then you are going to file it, and then you are going to get signature from your respective faculties. Okay, so physics and electronics laboratory, that is our department, will make you available with the pages and the file jackets. Not sure about this time, because in this pandemic it is not possible to disburse the papers from the college or the department, as you are not available on this particular department. Even the printers and the file distributors are not ready to get it print in time and so on. So I request you that you please take some around 50 pages and a file jacket from your very nearer stationery shop. While you are purchasing this one, keep a social distance, have a mask, and then you should proceed. How one should go to write it out a journals, and how a journal looks like. So if I will open the page, as I discuss, your left hand side should be the blank page and your right hand side should be the line page. On your right hand side pages, you should write a very first aim, which is already given in your lab manual. The second one is a list of apparatus, which is also given in your lab manual, so you can write it very easily. Otherwise you can make it your own list on a day of your experiment. Then you should also mention a theory in brief. No doubt in lab manuals the theory is well explained in a 1 page, or sometime it is 1.5 page. And what is our experience over the years, that students never take care of reading of these manuals. Now I request you all guys that you should read it out, especially it is a good habit to read the manuals and then enter for the laboratory sessions. After mentioning so what I mean to say, that there is a long discussion about the theory about an experiment, but you can take a gist of it, you can take a crux part of it, and you can put it on your journal in a third topic, as a third topic, theory in the brief. And thereafter there is a stepwise procedural part that you have to do first. Let us say you have a circuitry experiment, then you have to first connect the circuits, then you have to connect the voltmeter, then you connect the ammeter, then power supplier, then connect the rheostat, then vary the rheostat and change the input voltage and corresponding output voltage to be noted down. That way, in a stepwise you have to explain it. That is also given in lab manuals, but cosmetic variations you can do it by your according to your own words, and you can put it on your journal. And lastly, the results what you can achieve at the end of your experiment. But this, what I mean to highlight over here, this everything you are knowing. Maybe many of you have done similar kind of thing, but now I suggest, or I insist, this must be, all the topics must be on your line pages or on your right hand side of your journal. Whereas on your left hand side of the journal, which is blank page, as it is titled on your paper, which will be provided by our department, but otherwise what should be on your top of your left hand side? It should be either figure which is related to your experiment, or it should be the circuit. The second point, that is some constant parameter, like if it's any mechanical experiments, then you should have a list count of your apparatus which is going to be used. Let us say you are using a vernier calipers, then vernier calipers list count remain constant throughout your whole set of data, so it is a constant parameters, and that should be of your second point of your LHS side blank page. Then let us say you are doing an experiment where temperature is constant, then you should write list count and then temperature, and then you have to go with the observation table, because this constant parameters, constant list count, and then only you will step into the observation table. So third point will be the observation table. Once observation will be finished, you will be doing the calculations, and on the outcome of your calculation become your results. So 4 points on your left hand side blank page and 5 points on your line page of your journal or the RHS of your journal. Few of the teachers may allow you to write it out, this result, on your left hand side. So it's up to you and the methodology of the teacher what you can adopt, but for especially result and conclusion, either you can put it left or right, it not make too much difference, but this 4 topics should be on your left hand side, and this first four topics should be on your right hand side. Here you can see the pictures on your left hand side. This is one of our past student journals, and how exactly he is nicely written. This is the second picture on your right hand side. This is also an past students, and that is how we can check it up, this one. Thank you so much for attending this lecture, rather the orientation, how exactly a journal can be written for the laboratory sessions or the laboratory. And guys, you please focus on your laboratory sessions, because virtual laboratory sessions are a little bit challenging. We try our best to explain you each and every experiment with a videography and explanation of each and every experiment, but still the challenge is on your side also. Ball is in your court, so please keep reading. Spare time as many as possible to turn the pages of the books. It will help you out certainly. Good luck. Stay home, stay safe.